George Arias is a Dominican-American heavyweight prospect fighting out of New York, the Bronx, I believe. He's currently 7-0. He's fighting on the undercard of Mikey Garcia versus Adrian Broner against a Mexican heavyweight who's also an unbeaten prospect called Hernandez. He's currently 5-0. Now, for those of you who don't know George Arias, he used to be signed, or maybe is still signed, to Bob Arum, Top Rank, and was fighting on HBO. So I'm actually quite surprised that he's popped up on this show here, because this is not a Bob Arum Top Rank show, and it's not on HBO. This is an Adrian Broner promotion. It's About Billion Promotions in collaboration with TGB Promotions. So there's no Top Rank Bob Arum involvement in this show at all, and it's not on HBO, it's on Showtime. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Arias, if he's split from Bob Arum, if he's now signed with the promoter here, About Billions Promotions. I don't know. I'd like somebody to fill me in on that information if they have it. But whatever the case is, George Arias is a short heavyweight. He's about 6 feet tall. Many people have remarked that his face is eerily reminiscent of Muhammad Ali. He does kind of look like Muhammad Ali in the face, but his style is more like Joe Frazier. He has a bobbing and weaving Joe Frazier type style. One of the things about him which I like is he has a lot of energy. You know, he's a short heavyweight, as I say, weighs around, I mean, he's weighed anywhere between 218 and the low 230s. I'd personally like to see him in the low 220s. Mid 220s max for a guy of that height to retain the speed, because that's the advantage that a smaller heavyweight will have over most of the heavyweights now, is the speed. I don't want him to be a short, plodding heavyweight that's target practice for the taller guys. I'd like to have him to have a foot speed and hand speed advantage over most of the guys that he fights. But anyway, he's a short heavyweight, comes in bobbing and weaving, loads of energy. Somebody remarked after watching one of his fights that he looks like a souped up Derek Chisora, and I do kind of see where they're coming from with that. Similar style to Chisora, but faster. Faster hands, faster feet, faster head movement. He hasn't shown explosive punching power so far, and again, that's similar with Chisora, but one of the reasons I think he hasn't been really getting guys out of there cleanly is because of the fact that he maybe rushes his punches a little bit and tries to force knockouts rather than allowing them to come. So, you know, I'm sure he's got power there, but he just needs to learn to relax and let the punches flow naturally without trying to force them all the time. Then I think he'll show more power. But anyway, I think he's a very interesting prospect. We all like, or not, well, not all of us, but a lot of us like the shorter heavyweights throughout history, like the Joe Fraziers and Mike Tysons, going up against the bigger guys. And right now, we have a lack of those. So hopefully George Arias could provide for us in that regard. Maybe he can be a legitimate contender who's a short, exciting heavyweight. So he's on the card. Very interested to see how he looks in this fight. Elder Hernandez, his opponent. I've never seen him before, never heard of him. A 5-0 Mexican heavyweight. God knows what he's about. Just looking superficially at his box rec, he appears to be quite small as well. I'll probably YouTube him and see if I can find any of his fights. But all his fights so far have been in Mexico, so it might not be easy to find footage of some of his fights. But yeah, he's 27 years old, turned professional in 2014 from Mexico. So, you know, he's a young man. Hopefully he is in decent shape, and hopefully he can make a decent scrap with George Arias. So definitely looking forward to seeing how Arias performs in this fight and if his opponent is any good. I know Mexico doesn't exactly have the most decorated history when it comes to producing heavyweights, but, you know, there's a couple. Chris Arreola in recent years was an okay-ish contender at his best. And now we've got Andy Ruiz Jr., who I think is better than Arreola. So we'll see what this Hernandez is about. I'm not really holding my breath, to be honest. I'm more interested to see what George Arias can do. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. Have you seen George Arias fight before? If so, what did you think of him? What improvements do you think he needs to make? And do you have any information on his promotional situation? Is he still with Bob Arum? Has he left Bob Arum? Has he signed with Adrian Broner? If you have any of that info, drop it all in the comment section below. All right? It's happening. I'm out.